Sir, no, I have the right to speak, okay? No, my wife is next. I'm gonna speak, please.
Jordan Beard is Johnson's nephew. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Karens continue to cause problems for those around them and frequently make headlines for various reasons. Today, we'll look at instances where these Karens lost their cool after learning they were going to jail. In the Douglas County Court, Judge Robert J. James is overseeing the trial of Sahara T. Breeze Fakir, a 32-year-old woman accused of brutally killing Jerry Wheeler, a 66-year-old businessman, husband, father, and grandfather. Sahara faced a charge of first-degree murder and was arrested about a month after the crime. During her first court appearance, things took a strange turn. Sahara's behavior was unusual from the start. When the charges were sent and read against her, she interrupted by making odd remarks, calling the courthouse cursed, and accusing the judge and others of not believing in Allah.
Charged with the murder of Jerry Franklin Wheeler. You understand that?
In the Masonic courthouse, I understand that. I understand that this courthouse is a cursed courthouse. Yes, I understand.
Okay.
And if you are judging me and you're not God-fearing, Allah will have his vengeance on you, and everyone else in here is not God-fearing. I understand that.
Despite Sahara's outbursts, Judge James stayed calm and continued to explain her rights. When he told her she could apply for a public defender if she couldn't afford a lawyer, she refused, demanding to be set free immediately.
If you cannot employ a lawyer, then you can apply to the public defender's office for an appointment of one at no cost to you.
I mean what I said.
I'm just trying to inform you of your rights.
No, I better be released from that Masonic courthouse.
Sahara claimed that Allah was her lawyer and would speak through her to defend her.
Allah is my lawyer right now. He's speaking to me.
Are you going to get a lawyer?
Allah is my lawyer right now. And if you do not release me, Allah will have his vengeance on you, like he did in 2009 when we sent that flood. It's only going to get worse.
This was thought to be linked to a past incident where she had clashed with a probation officer, making threats and causing damage. The judge told Sahara she would not be granted bond, but she refused to accept this decision, challenging it in a defiant manner.
If you want such a bond, you can make application and have a hearing as to that matter. Do you understand?
When can I get a bond today?
I'm not going to grant a bond today. This is just an initial appearance.
However, her behavior only strengthened the court's decision to continue with the case. In the end, Sahara was found guilty of murdering Jerry Wheeler. She was sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole and will serve her time in a women's correctional facility. At Nassau County Court, Judge James Daniel is leading the trial of Kimberly Kessler, a 50-year-old woman charged with murdering her co-worker Jolene Cummings and hiding her body. Kessler is accused of killing Jolene, a 34-year-old mother of 3, and faces first-degree murder charges. Jolene was reported missing in May 2018. At first, police couldn't find any clues, but they soon discovered she had been murdered by Kimberly, a woman who had been on the run for 25 years. Jolene was supposed to pick up her kids from her ex-husband, but never showed up. When the police contacted Kimberly, who was believed to be the last person to see Jolene, she made excuses and avoided going to work. In court, Kimberly acted out, throwing tantrums and yelling. She was difficult and refused to cooperate, so the judge ordered her to watch the trial from a separate room. Horrific wounds. As investigators questioned her, they grew frustrated with Isabella's strange and evasive answers. She denied being responsible for her mother's death, insisting she didn't kill her. In her defense, Isabella pleaded insanity, claiming that she thought she was attacking another woman and trying to save the world. She insisted she didn't realize the woman she stabbed repeatedly was her own mother. However, many people, including Ryan Hoy, Uni Hoy's husband at the time, found this hard to believe. Ryan recalled that Isabella had often argued with her mother and even threatened her. Just the day before the killing, Isabella had written a note to her mom that said, "You will pay." Ryan described the terrifying events of that night in an interview. He said that Yoon came to the basement, scared of Isabella, who had been threatening her. Yoon went upstairs to take a shower, but that would be the last time Ryan saw her alive. When he heard his wife's screams, he rushed upstairs and saw blood under the door. He ran to call 911. Isabella had stabbed her mother 48 times in the neck and 31 times in the face. When Isabella opened the door, she walked past Ryan without acknowledging him, leaving him to find his wife lying lifeless on the floor in a pool of blood. Isabella finally admitted to committing the crime, blaming it on her mental illness. As the judge read her sentence, Isabella behaved strangely, staring into the camera and pointing at her eyes. District Attorney Brawler explained that while Isabella's actions were horrific, her mental state played a major role in the crime. He believed she was suffering from severe schizophrenia and delusions, making it impossible for her to understand the wrongness of her actions.
A Colorado woman who stabbed her mother 79 times inside their home in Aurora, killing her, won a round in her bid for eventual freedom.
Eventually, Isabella was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Let's head to Superior Court, where Judge Patricia Garcia is overseeing the trial of 25-year-old Darla Jackson. She's facing serious charges for chasing down and running over U.S. sailor Zach Buob in a road rage incident. Zach, a 39-year-old Navy Chief Petty Officer, was badly injured and later died at the hospital. Darla is charged with first-degree murder. In court, Darla appeared with her head down, crying and shaking throughout the proceedings. She expressed deep regret, saying that everything had gone terribly wrong.
I know a lot of awful things were said about me that made a lot of people believe that I did this on purpose. I'm not that person.
The mother of one was driving a Nissan Altima when she got into an argument with Zach, who was riding his motorcycle. After Zach made hand gestures and kicked her car, Darla began chasing him. She eventually hit him from behind at high speed. Darla claimed she only wanted to get his license plate number and never meant to hurt him. But some witnesses told a different story. Darla's lawyer, Stephen Klein, argued that she was very sorry and that the whole situation scared and upset her. At the scene, several cars stopped to help Zach as emergency responders tried to save him. Eyewitnesses confirmed that Darla had been chasing Zach on his motorcycle before the crash. A video from a passenger's cell phone fatally. His friend, who was with him, quickly called for help. Doctors later found that the bullet narrowly missed Greg's heart, saving his life by just a small margin. During the investigation, police uncovered the plan. McDavid claimed he didn't mean to kill Greg. He insisted he only fired warning shots. However, the evidence showed McDavid was lying. He had set up a sniper position, ready to ambush Greg. When the verdict was read, Diana was found guilty of attempted murder and conspiracy.
It's so painful that some people in this world seem to think that I would have it in me to do this.
The jury also ruled that she was responsible for the firearm used in the crime. Judge Von Kalinowski sentenced her to 26 years in prison. As the sentence was announced, Diana looked stunned and collapsed in her chair. Her family cried out, and the courtroom was cleared.
Without a cause, find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
All right, we're going to need to take a break. Bring it down. And if we could have, we could have the jury go back into the room.
Emergency responders arrived, and Diana was taken to the hospital. Now, Diana Lovejoy will spend the next 26 years behind bars, marking the end of a shocking attempt to avoid facing the consequences of her actions. Our next case takes us to Wayne County Family Court, where Melissa Hardwick shocked everyone in the courtroom and across the nation during her hearing. What started as a normal court session involving Hardwick, a woman from Kentucky facing a domestic violence complaint from her estranged husband, took a wild turn when she suddenly attacked the judge. It was an ordinary Thursday, when Melissa Hardwick found herself in the middle of a courtroom drama that would change her life forever. The tension was thick in the air as Hardwick nervously sat in front of the judge. She was facing serious allegations from her estranged husband about domestic violence. No one in the courtroom could have predicted the chaos that was about to unfold. The judge, known for being fair and level-headed, asked Hardwick's husband to explain what happened leading to his complaint. As he shared the painful details, the mood in the room became heavier. Hardwick's face turned bright red, and her anger started to build with every word. Unable to control herself any longer, she interrupted his testimony, her voice shaking with frustration.
She got out of jail in April, and she started...
My personal life is
No.
your business, John. It has nothing to do with
Miss
you
Hardwick?
boys. No.
You will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
I don't care. I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to him.
The judge warned sternly. But the warning didn't stop her. Her voice grew louder, and the judge had no choice but to sentence her to 10 days in jail for contempt of court.
She will be arrested for contempt of
It
court.
doesn't make any difference.
You will serve 10
To strangle Therian, continuing until he was dead, an act that took about 3 to 5 minutes.
Cutting up his body.
Like almost right away, I was sucking and cutting at the same time.
So will this be considered foreplay?
What happened next was even more horrifying. Shabaznis decapitated and dismembered Therian's body, spreading his body parts around the house like a twisted puzzle. She even placed some of the remains in a car. It was a chilling scene that made it clear just how far her depravity had gone. Therian's mother, shocked and horrified, discovered a bucket with her son's severed head in the basement on February 23, 2022.
Yes, I'd like an officer at 829 Stony Brook. My friend just woke me up and swears that she found her severed head of her son in the basement.
The discovery shook her and the entire community. Police quickly arrested Shabaznis, who was confronted with the undeniable evidence of her monstrous actions. As investigators dug deeper, it became clear that Shabaznis's actions were the result of a toxic relationship fueled by drugs. In her trial, her defense tried to portray her as a troubled woman, a victim of her circumstances and her relationship with Therian. They said drugs were to blame for her actions, but the prosecution argued that nothing could excuse the horror she had caused. After hearing the evidence, the jury convicted Shabaznis of first-degree intentional homicide, third-degree sexual assault, and mutilating a corpse. Despite her claims of not being guilty due to mental illness, the jury found her responsible for the crime. Her erratic behavior in court, including attacking her own lawyer, only weakened her defense. Judge Thomas Walsh, who presided over the case, sentenced Shabaznis to life in prison without the possibility of parole, making sure she would never walk free again.
And what we heard about in the trial, this crime offends human decency, it offends human dignity, and it offends the human community. It really does.
The community was left divided. Some felt justice had been served, while others were still trying to understand the depth of the tragedy. Next, we go to Hennep County District Court, where the dramatic trial of 29-year-old Jalissa Thaler unfolds. All eyes are on Judge Jay Quam as he delivers the final verdict on a case that has gripped the nation. Thaler, convicted of murdering her 6-year-old son Eli Hart, reacts with defiance, leaving the courtroom stunned. It all began in May 2022, a month that marked a dark chapter in the quiet suburban neighborhood where Jalissa Thaler and her young son lived. On what seemed like an ordinary day, a concerned citizen noticed a shattered car window and a flat tire, sparking suspicion. That call to authorities uncovered a horrifying truth. 6-year-old Eli's lifeless body was found in the trunk of the vehicle.
Car was sent into the westbound lanes. Their car was hit by 2 other cars and then burst into flames. Police said Pereira continued driving and was arrested minutes later after her car could go no further because of damage.
It was a quiet evening on the Selman Expressway in Tampa, Florida. What seemed like a normal night quickly turned into a nightmare. Amber Pereira was driving recklessly, weaving through traffic without regard for anyone's safety. She thought she could break the rules without facing any consequences. Meanwhile, a happy family, Luis, Rita, and their 8-year-old daughter, Georgia F-Pack, were enjoying a peaceful drive. Their car was filled with laughter, unaware of the danger just ahead. Pereira's dangerous driving set off a chain of crashes. Her car hit a Jeep and an Infiniti, and then the FPAC family's car burst into flames. Tragically, all 3 family members died instantly, while Tracy Lee Kelly, the driver of the Jeep, was badly injured. Instead of staying to help or taking responsibility, Pereira made a selfish choice. She drove away. Her decision to flee the scene showed her lack of empathy and responsibility. The news of the crash spread quickly, and the whole community mourned the loss of the FPAC family. The community demanded justice, and Amber Pereira's trial became a focal point for everyone. In court, the atmosphere was tense. The prosecution described Pereira's reckless driving and her decision to leave the scene. They painted her as someone who felt entitled and refused to face the consequences of her actions. The weight of the tragedy was clear to everyone in the room.
But you also ruined a lot of lives and ended 3 lives.
She has now lost her life, and that she will spend her days in pain and in her days thinking about what she's done, and just her not being happy every day brings joy to me.
After several days of intense trial, the moment of truth came. Judge Sabella found Pereira guilty and sentenced her to 50 years in prison. The consequences of her actions had finally caught up with her. When she heard her sentence, Pereira collapsed at the desk, crying uncontrollably.
Yes. Is this the front seat passenger after she was?
Her emotional reaction quickly went viral, and people across the country took notice of the woman who caused so much pain and loss. Our last case takes us to Whitley County Circuit Court, where Shannon Fox Hamlin made a dramatic appearance that left everyone in shock. Her outbursts, defiance, and the unexpected twists in her case made for a chilling display of anger and entitlement. From confrontations with store workers to a viral moment in the courtroom, Shannon's story shows just how dangerous uncontrolled rage can be. On February 20th,
And play over here too. I was riding the fence between me and you. God gave me a choice, and it's life or death, I kid you not.
the judge, clearly frustrated, got straight to the point and asked if she had reported to probation as required.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Allegation is you failed to report to probation and parole.
Okay, sir. I have nothing in this world. Okay, I lost everything. So I'm recording everything.
All I need is an answer.
No.
Did you go? Okay.
I went to probation, yes I did. But the next 2 times I didn't have no right.
Right.
February the 7th was my dad's birthday. When he said he came down, I was not home.
Okay, let me ask you another question.
Yes.
On December the 9th, 2016, you were given a drug test and you were positive for methamphetamine, and that was confirmed by a lab.
Shannon admitted she only went once and didn't attend the other meetings. In court footage, Shannon argued with the judge and denied a parole officer's testimony about her being unavailable for a home visit. She also insisted her December 2016 drug test, which showed meth, was tampered with, and tried to defend herself using religious claims. Despite her denials, the evidence was clear. The lab-confirmed drug test proved she had used methamphetamine. The judge upheld the decision to revoke her bond and ordered court security to take her into custody.
Take her for me, please. Motion is sustained.
Sir, no, I have the right to speak, okay? Now, my wife is at I'm going to speak, please. No, I'm going to speak to this judge. No, I'm going to speak to you right now, Your Honor. My life is at stake. I'll die in prison.
Come on, yes.
I have been right to. I won't go. You'll shoot me because Jesus said I won't go, and I'll